gaming. It has been, I would say, identified a long time ago. So parents urged to monitor kids gaming. Parents, take note if your children are using video games. This is a warning you need to be aware of. Abu Dhabi police are warning parents that online video games could have potential serious consequences such as addiction, isolation, and detachment from reality. If your children are playing, you need to monitor the situation very closely.
So interesting, especially during the holidays when it's so easy to just give a child an iPad and let them take care of themselves. But actually, what authorities are urging is to keep a close eye on what your children are consuming. Police also advise parents to monitor their children's online activities and talk to your kids about bullying and blackmail. If this is something they experience online, they should know how to report it immediately.
Now, the police highlights the Aman service number, which you can reach at 800 2626, Aman 2626, or by text message 2828, or via email aman@adpolice.gov.ae, or through the smart application of the General Command of Abu Dhabi Police. You know, actually, to tell you something, Casey, is that I'm so against children playing violent games.
I agree.
Because, I mean, yes, it is true at this time and age, what can they do and what can they not do during their free time? You can't just tell them like, hey, you just don't play video games, don't do this, don't do that. But I think maybe they need to be aware of the games that they're choosing, the games that they're playing, because it's just like simultaneously, it just embeds in their subconscious minds.
I agree 100%. It's so difficult, I think, as a parent to find the line between, you know, what's okay and what's not okay. Because when I grew up, we were also playing pretty violent video games. Grand Theft Auto, I don't know if you had that, but it was like a car game that you steal and you shoot and all of that. But looking back on it, it is dangerous. It is violence. But how do you find the right line between what's okay and what's not okay? You can't protect a kid from everything.
That's true.
But what you would probably aim to encourage, it's so easy not being a parent to say this, you would aim to, like, you know, we look at how way back when kids were going outside and playing outside all the time. And then even that was like, then radio got introduced, then TV got introduced. And it's really hard to get kids to want to go outside. But that type of you know, not playing video games 24/7, that if you have that healthy balance of real world versus reality, then you'll be able to kind of differentiate. But I think the problem is if the kids, and I think this is what the police are saying, is that monitor the behavior. If they're doing it 24/7,
that would be
super concerning, and you need to kind of step in at that point.
100%. I had a cousin who was obsessed with video games, and he would not leave his laptop. Literally, he would not even he would have his lunch, his dinner, his breakfast. And it's at this point, it just goes, it becomes abnormal for a child to just stay on his laptop. So just imagine.
It might be normal though.
Yeah, to them, right? But because, as you said, during our age and time, which is the era of technology, it is very, I would say, it's not easy to just tell a child leave the laptop, because this is their source of entertainment, right?
I'm even thinking like back in the day before we knew it was an issue. I had PlayStations and I loved them. I would wake up in the morning. I would go downstairs. I would get my breakfast and I would play. And I wasn't like a big. Well, I was actually loved it. But I think that was back then before games were advanced. Maybe I had a Nintendo 64 that I could take in the car, but not to the level that kids have like the coolest games in the world that they can carry everywhere with them. Like back then it was so basic.
That's true.
But now you can have the best game in your hand with like the most advanced like shooting
100%.
games. And so it is, I think, a scary time. It is more difficult for parents to monitor.
It is.
Because they can be so addictive.
It is. And it is, by the way, addictive. And there are a lot of studies done that a lot of computer time and a lot of violent video games time would just affect your mental health overall. And you see that, you know, even like there's a study that showed that if a gamer is on the game and for like so long, how he's going to look like in the future.
They say that also with the
thumb.
The thumb that our thumb is going to be different.
Yeah,
from the
they
iPhone.
say so. I mean, So
far, so good.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But I think the sooner that we recognize this as an issue and the sooner that the parents recognize this as an issue, the sooner that they can, I would say, control or manage
True.
the whole thing that keeps on happening.
I must say it's so hard though, because back in the day, your mom or your dad might say, "Hey, get off the laptop, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You need to study because this is never going to help you in your future life." Now, gamers can be minted. You could be a gaming influencer. You could be traveling around the world as a gamer. So I think even that conversation is hard. We're just saying it's harder to be a parent than it was before, I imagine.
Yeah.
So more props to you, especially at Christmas when all they want is it's an expensive time. So shout out to all the parents out there.
100%. And as well, my cousin, he is 16 years old and he makes money.
16?
He's 16. He's 16 and I only
How is
figured
he
this
doing
out.
it?
I have no idea. He's like,
Give me the
game.
exact
Yeah, he goes like, oh yeah, I
process.
do gaming. And I looked at him, I was like, okay. But you know what, at the same time, if parents, I think even us, like you and I, and parents and everyone, we need to understand that we need to grow up with the generations. Specifically that now we are in the generation and the era of technology. So,
tricky time.